Hey everyone, just doing a really quick lazy fucking video because I probably shouldn't use fucking it's that early. Hey everyone, just making a quick little video that I wanted to make just because I found this to be a fun little video. I'm going to try and do that little minute swearing thing. But so you can see literally 5 hours ago, Steam announced their Steam Deck thing, and I'm pretty fucking for it. Seems like a decent console at a fair price. Well, quote unquote console is more like a portable PC in a console format. It's like, oh yeah, it's whatever. Seems pretty positive, but then there's so many comments that are just like, pretty sure this violates a copyright. And then just so many uninformed people that I kind of just want to go through this as a shit post. And as you can see, 3 hours ago I made this fucking meme because it's like so many people are just up in arms about this thing, just like Nintendo. So I just want to sit here and fucking just make a stupid video about it, just commenting on it. So let's break down some of the dumb shit that I see top to bottom. All right. First, oh, by the way, I just want to put this as a quick disclaimer, real quickly as well. I do not condone any harassment of any people in this video. It's more or less just a few people with a few bad takes. So let's just kind of have a quick chuckle. Kind of inform you all a little bit on what it actually is, and kind of go from there. So let's go from this. So this is basically cloud gaming. Haven't found anything on GPU. Will this mean that the fidelity will be locked to guarantee stable at 60 FPS? Stadia Go at least. I wouldn't need to buy a subscription to play games, but it does look clunky, and I'll probably play, and I probably can't play GOG. Okay. So I fucking butchered reading that. Like, my god, fucking reading of a fucking 2-year-old. But what the entire thing that is super funny is that if you literally just go to the page and scroll right here, hardware designed to put power in the real hands, and it shows you this, and it's like, ooh, it's like comfortable, blah, 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 blah. But you can tell that this is actually, okay, this is to be fair, but if you skip to here, somewhere at least, it spells out very fucking clearly that it uses a Radeon APU. Okay, let me just find it. Radeon. Nope. AMD. Yeah, here we go. Lily. I just fucking was too lazy to read it. It's literally at the top of this fucking page. Part of the AMD to create Steam Deck's custom APU. And if you look up the definition of APU meaning, fucking can't type either. APU meaning accelerated processing unit, which basically, as it says here, a CPU and GPU within a single chip. So like, it was fucking 2 clicks too much for you, my guy? Like, come on. And then not just that, but the whole GOG thing. Well, again, if you go down to the tech specs, wherever that is, like right here, you'll actually see that if you scroll down to the operating system, you'll see here it's based on SteamOS. It's SteamOS, which is Arch based, and Arch is a form of Linux, just like Android or Ubuntu or Chrome OS or all those various other platforms, right? And in fact, I think it actually supporting Arch was mainly just down to Arch basically giving Steam more control over what they can do on the OS without having to do a ton of initial work. And because it's an open source software, there's generally no reason not to. And it's using the KDE Plasma GUI, which, for context, KDE Plasma is basically just a sort of Windows 10 skin for various Linux distros. I actually installed it for a little bit. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but that's because I just don't really like Microsoft that much. Like its UI, I kind of appreciate what Ubuntu has going with GNOME. But like, to each their own. If you really like the Windows layout, this is totally for you. And yeah, so literally just a fucking 5-second Google search, my guy. So let's find another hot take. Oh, look at the tweet got another like. Nice. All right, next point. Oh, you can also see this dude got fucking ratioed. Let's go. Real quick here. I'm pretty sure this violates a copyright. Real fucking quickly. Has nobody heard of the PSP? The thing that came out way before the Switch. That is basically the Switch. Like we all pretty sure we know what this is or nah. You know what I mean? It's just like, my guy. And not even just this, but like before this, there's plenty of consoles before this that were, you know, handhelds. Like PlayStation wasn't the first. I would just say that it was the sort of first widely successful console or handheld using this format. So yeah, genius take. And of course it's some fucking dude doing a fucking Final Fantasy 5 Chocobo fucking shit. My god, fucking the internet has shown me some stuff around that I am not comfortable with. um Okay, let's see. People are like, you haven't held it yet, so there's a demonstration on my ship. Yeah, here's like I did the exact same thing earlier, where basically I just kind of mimed it out on my Switch, right? It's like, fucking, it's just what does this take? Actually, this might be a bad take. Let me actually read it. How would I grip the press buttons? 1. How would I grip the stick? 2. How would I grip it if there's a stick to the left of the buttons? Boom. How would I grip? With that grip, how would I press buttons? Ba-boom. Fucking amazing. Yeah, it's literally just fucking like sit down for like 3 seconds and maybe just use your brain. Like just mime it out. Like I don't think people realize this, but consoles have like hundreds of dollars of R&D into them, and generally speaking, an unplayable console is not going to sell. And I don't think that Valve would actually fuck that up. Like, for context, if you look at the Steam controller, the Steam controller definitely had some shortcomings. I feel like Steam was far too ambitious. But actually, the Steam controller, I actually have one buried somewhere in some boxes behind me. But it was actually a really comfortable controller. Like, to hold it and to use it actually was pretty ergonomic for the most part. So I don't think that Steam would just throw away the ergonomics. The entire thing is just that I feel like they got too ambitious, and they just kind of bit off more than they can chew. Because I knew some people who genuinely preferred the sort of like touchpads for like FPSs, because you know it moves at the rate of your thumb, not the rate of the joystick, right? So instead of like a lot of people don't game code, so don't blame me for not knowing this. But the way that it basically works is per frame, the engine generally, not always, but generally checks for where the analog input's at, right? So it'll be like, hey, what position are you in? You're in 0, 0, like 0x, 0y. Okay, great. So we'll just assign that value to the character movement and do whatever it's supposed to do there, right? When when, you know, for like a lot of things, because of the way that functioned, it was actually super consistent to use, because you could do non-linear control instead of some trying to like do some weird acceleration bullshit with like the analog stick, where like if you flick it then it kind of like snaps or whatever. And this is not, and I'm not talking about flick stick. I'm talking about basically what's a mouse acceleration before a thumb pad or thumbstick, whatever. It just would not work well. It would be super hard to learn, super inconsistent, just not worth learning or using at all. And that is like a promise. Let's see. It'll fail miserably. Switch OLED will outsell this garbage 1,000 to 1. Yes and no. So this is a hot take. As you can see, kind of getting a ratio, not quite, but let me explain why this won't work. Because Nintendo fanboys like yourself, my guy, Nintendo just has a legacy where basically if it exists, people will just buy it. That is just how Nintendo is. It is just one of those things where it's like, Nintendo is selling me a fucking half-completed game, but because it has Mario on the box, I can fucking play it. Cough, cough, Mario Maker is selling user-generated content with basically a AAA game price with a monthly fee attached to it. Like, fuck off. Yeah, it's honestly just one of those things where it's like where it's like, yes, it will sell most likely better than the Steam Deck will. That is almost a guarantee. And I'm not disagreeing with that point, but at the same time, I don't necessarily view these to be in the same market. Because with the Steam deck, one thing that I really see nice about it is that somewhere in the listing, it actually will show you that you can actually connect it to like TV or a like this right here. It'll let you connect it to like a monitor, right? Which is actually very nice for me because in that regard, you can use this one as a little small monitor for like Discord or something, right? Or maybe like a YouTube video if you're that type of person. A lot of people do that, or Twitch stream or whatever you prefer. I'm not saying anything specific, but you get the idea. And then, you can have the main monitor hooked up. Like, yes, it is an APU, so, don't expect 4K, fucking ultra settings. But as Linus Tech Tips pointed out, and I've said way before that as well, ultra settings don't really mean jack, right? So, play on higher medium, keep your expectations realistic. Fucking basically every game on the Switch runs at low settings in comparison to fucking what PC is. So calm down, take a breath, and just like, realize that this is a handheld and carry on from there. You lost me at 64 gigabyte eMMC for the cheapest model. That's not enough storage for to play the newer modern games. How am I supposed to play Pong? Ha ha ha. Okay, this is obviously partly satirical, but this first comment feels a bit legit. Considering how serious the tone has, I'm just going to kind of roll with it. As we saw, I'm pretty sure page fucking 1 is this is the wrong page, I'm pretty sure, but here, right here. Expand your library with a micro SD card. Sure, it's not going to be the fastest, and again, this is a handheld. Again, you're playing Switch equivalent games, so like this thing could probably run Skyrim using the Proton compatibility layer, but it will not, most likely not run Cyberpunk. But then again, most computers and even last gen consoles can't do that anyways, so I'm not sure what you're expecting. Oops, wrong video. Actually, I don't need that tab open anywhere. Ha. A Switch clone that can't even run Splatoon? Waste the money. Nintendo should sue. The ratio is coming from the Splatoon community. XD, basically. And it's like, okay. Let's just go to my fucking Steam library once it loads. I am on Ubuntu, and for some reason it likes to take a second to load. I like to do a Steam update every time I try and launch it, so we'll just give it a little second. And here it is. So we're at my little Steam library, right? Let's just real quickly just go FPS. Oh, so there's Apex, CS:GO, Rust, Halo MCC, Destiny 2, Rainbow Six Siege, which to be fair, I wouldn't bet being able to run on that, but I might be able to struggle by it. 24 FPS on low. 24 FPS, yeah. Rainbow Six Siege, PUBG Battlegrounds, fucking TF2, Borderlands could probably run, Payday 2, a lot of really small name games here, like, oh man, like, because it can't run Splatoon, it's a dead console. Let's fucking just throw in the towel. And also, just for a little bit more context, I don't think this was ratioed, my guy. I don't quite think this is a ratio at all if we just give a casual little scroll down. Quite the ratio. Such a big ratio here. Let's carry on with the more bad taste, because oh my god, they just keep coming and coming. Oh my god. This thing doesn't look very ergonomic at all. Does it only run games that can run Linux? Losing a big chunk of the Steam library, question mark? Yes, but the thing is that with a lot of games, most of it is actually down to the developer, not actually the like the actual statistics. Like, for instance, I believe you can actually get Rainbow Six Siege to run, but they'll basically soft ban you because you're playing on Linux. So it's more or less just a quick system check of like, oh, you're on Linux, yes or no? Okay, cool. Go fuck yourself, or welcome in. Other things is that, there's always virtual machines, dual booting, and a bunch of other options that can happen on this thing. Valve has not shown any indication that it's locked to, it's locked down to their OS, and as they said, it's based off of Arch, which is an extremely customizable distro of Linux. combined with the fact that basically everybody who already uses Linux, Arch Linux, is like basically tech guru. Like, yeah, this is, you're not the market for this console guy if you just see Linux bad. It's as simple as that. There's a few other small things as well among that, with like Unreal Engine as an example that you can see pinned down here. I use that for the game that I'm working on. Going to keep that under wraps for now. Shh. But long story short is that exporting a game using most major engines like Unity, Linux, Unity, Unreal Engine. I'm sure a lot of big softwares could easily add, a Linux like export option, a bunch of other stuff like that. It's really one of those things where it's more down to developer than anything, and not using super strict sort of graphics things. So use like OpenGL or Vulkan shaders, not DirectX 12, because at this point, like, sure, DirectX 12 is cute, but honestly, what is the point of ray tracing? Do not get me wrong. I understand ray tracing is like the sort of next leap in software for like gaming, right? That being said, however, rasterized textures look extremely good as they are. And, I've been hard pressed to find any difference between, RTX and, ray tracing. The only time I think ray tracing will really kick in is if you have any big scenes with a lot of reflections. Because outside of that, there's really not a lot of room for like expansion or whatever. But let's keep going on. That's the same price as the PS5s. Yes. The two issues are those that, as this person sort of jokingly says down here, yeah, but you can actually play games on this. The two big points around that is that number one is that PS5 is a lock system. Like if you're going from PC to PS5, Nintendo to PS5, whatever, it does not matter. The issue is that ultimately you are stuck using you basically have to rebuild your library, right? For somebody like me who already uses like Linux and Windows and even Mac OS on occasion, to actually be able to, just have my game library that I have here, which if we go to my library real quickly, we can see, uncategorized 670 titles. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, depending on the system that I'm jumping to, I can keep my games. And I can, actually play them on mobile. I don't have to reinvest. It's kind of like that joke where it's like, oh, I just got a PS4, time to buy Minecraft again or whatever, or like PS3 or whatever. Like, oh, I got the newest console, time to buy Minecraft for the fourth time. It's exactly like that. So like, for instance, like I have Minecraft Java Edition. I switched over to Linux recently, and I've actually been able to use Minecraft without having to rebuy it. Like, it's great. Like I think gaming as a whole needs more open standards and more cross-platform game sharing. That's just me, but that's the way that I really feel, like, overall. All right, on to the next hot take. Looks cramped, but the layout could use work. Is it really cheaper to use trackpads than a touchscreen? The analog stick should be lower. The buttons shouldn't be on the edge. I can't see this being comfy in shooters or action games. Should have ran the design plus the payers first. Do you think the game developers / console designers do not know what the fuck they're doing? Again, I will mention, to be very clear at first, like to just make something very clear bluntly, if you watch the advertisement right here for it, you can see here that some of the people with smaller hands, they kind of use it kind of like some of the thumbsticks a little bit weird. Like that guy seems to be using it fine. You can see her, she's kind of like awkwardly pressing the side of it. Like that might just be a preference. You can see here this guy's thumb is kind of short, but he looked like a kid, so it could easily be something like that, right? So yeah, that's sort of my counter argument to that. So woo. And then now time to fucking rip down everything else. Is it cheaper to use the trackpads than a touchscreen? Yes, because touchscreens add an extra layer of complexity that you need to be able to see a fucking screen underneath of the touch surface. I'm sorry, I don't know what it is about fucking watered down furries making bad takes. But it's like, yeah, any extra layer of complexity is going to obviously increase the cost. Like I don't know what they're expecting. On top of that, too, as you saw kind of up here as well, to scroll back up here, you can see that the way they actually demoed using the touchscreen, you can see almost everybody's using the joystick for basically every game, except for when they actually connect to I think it was, I don't know what game this is, but you can see this is very clearly a PC game, which is supposed to use a mouse based interface, right? So instead of awkwardly using a gliding joystick, they kind of just scroll here, scroll there, kind of scroll back, and because it's a touchpad, it's a lot more quick and ergonomic. Like my guy, what the hell? It's just why. And then as this person says over here, it looks cramped. The layout could use work. Is it really cheaper to use drawings than a faceplate? Whatever. I don't even want to comment on that, honestly. Fucking let's stick with the spicy takes. $400 for this, and it only runs Steam games. I don't want to see how this is worth it at all. If it was VR capable and could run things other than Steam, maybe it would be a good starter console. Again, the ratio, baby, gotta love it. Several issues is that, first off, again, $400. Let's just look at this. So if I were to say reserve, I believe it's $500 Canadian, just for comparison. Yep, 500 Canadian. So, Nintendo Switch Canada. So you can see here, $400. So it's like, okay, yeah, that seems nice. It has half the stores, but whatever. But the entire argument is just Nintendo Switch browser. Like, ooh, how to use the hidden web browser in Nintendo Switch. Okay, that's edgy. Okay. Let's see about Netflix. Netflix is currently not available to download on the Nintendo Switch eShop. Woo! Wow. Real fucking spicy there. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure that is partly to do with, Netflix and Nintendo not working out pricing terms that each other's likes and whatever. But like Disney Plus is not available on the handheld console. Like I am a person, to be very clear. I am not a fanboy for Valve. I think Valve definitely has some work to go, but I'm about player choice. And right now, the Steam Deck seems to offer the players more user choice. I honestly can't see why you would like to use the Switch over the other one, with the exception of some exclusive titles. Like not just that too, but like this is another great proposition. Let's say you're a fucking kid, right? You enjoy gaming, but you want to do the occasional schoolwork. You bring this and the dock with you to school. It's smaller than a laptop. You just fucking place your dock on the table. You fucking rip out the HDMI cord and the USBs for the mouse and keyboard. Plug it into this. Same thing with the HDMI for the thing. Just bop, bop. And then you now have your home console at school with you. Like most kids at school aren't doing video editing. They're just banging off, like a quick, Word document and like Google or, like Word Online or even Word software and so on and so forth. Not just that, but, Linux has, a pretty good software suite already installed called LibreOffice. Overall, it's a very, very, there's a lot more past this than just gaming. And that's what I really don't like about a lot of these comments, is that it's just like, gaming. And it's like, well, yeah, but what the fuck? Yeah. Odd that we're seeing games that run natively on Linux are decently through Proton. That has to be fucking satirical. Like, come on, my guy. I really hope that's like sarcasm, but I ain't no C, no /S, so I'm a little bit concerned, Chief. Also, don't expect to play any multiplayer games outside of Source games on this thing. A vast majority of anti-cheat systems kick you out when running through Proton. Who plays multiplayer on a fucking handheld? I'm sorry, but I'm sorry. I know I mentioned Steam and CS:GO. I mean, sorry, like Siege and CS:GO and all that shit earlier. Multiplayer on a handheld is a nightmare. You have worse controls, like you have bad like internet because of, like, it's trying to use wireless protocols, and not just that, but like this is literally like the fucking meme of like fucking, oh yeah, bro, I'm gaming on McDonald's Wi-Fi. Like that's literally what this dude is expecting, or person, lady. I don't know. It's just a default expression, but like you get the idea. Oh, and they're a programmer slash composer. Yeah, so that has to be satire, my guy. That has to be satire. Are you like pointing this out for the kids? Not sure what you're trying to do, my guy. And then to carry on as well too, it's just like, yeah, of course they're going to use fucking Linux. They can't use Mac OS for very obvious reasons. And if you don't know why, maybe do a 2-second Google search. And, you know, sure, I'm sure Windows would love to, but then every system would need to have, you know, Steam would need to buy Microsoft Windows in bulk, which would be probably at least $20-$30 extra per console. So it's just like, why? Like, yeah, use an open source software. It makes sense in like every regard. And it's like, also don't expect to play any multiplayer games outside of source games. It's like you do realize that Linux is actually supported on a lot of games, and like I mentioned earlier, you can easily use a VM and our fucking and or something like Wine to, you know, easily, you know, sidestep a lot of the incompatibility issues. But the entire issue is that's just game developers just being like, there's a couple script kiddies on Linux, so we can't handle that. So what we're going to do is, instead of developing a better anti-cheat system, we're going to just nuke an entire operating system. It's honestly up to the devs, and I understand limiting their scope for a 3% market, or sorry, 3% of their market. You know, it isn't that huge of a hit to them and whatever, but it's like, considering Siege, BattleEye, whatever, banned fucking Linux users, and the cheaters are still rampant in that game, I don't think banning Linux did that much. I honestly don't think that was the case at all. I'm guessing this person said, like, was like mocking how it was clearly ripping off something, and then this dude, fucking the chat of the day, let's go. Assuming. Twice as heavy as the Switch? $100 more than the Switch for the base model? Easily the least ergonomic handheld ever constructed? Guys, what? Again, are you just too fucking lazy to hit the spec sheet? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you literally just go to here. You can see there's clearly a controller bump. That's way more fucking ergonomic than the brick of the Switch. Hashtag just saying. Like, okay, here you can kind of see the bump. Okay, thumbsticks. Wow, look at that, thumbsticks. Oh, what's this? Shadows implying a shape change. Wow. It's just like, what are people thinking? Like this is the main reason why I just love just poking bears online, because you just sit there and you're just like, my guy, my gender neutral pronoun. What the fuck? It's just like does nobody even do the slightest bit of research? Oh, I think I remember this take from earlier. Oh, I think this one's a fucking hot take. So Valve, instead of fixing VAC or working in a new game, did a fucking switch. We already have a portable gaming device market, and you're telling me Steam is going to do another Steam controller failure? Just fuck off. That not to be that person, but you have the philosophy of working on what you feel comfortable. You've proven the philosophy is flaw. You still redeem the time and money and stuff no one is buying or caring about, ignoring the stuff your consumers are asking for. Who the hell is your fucking CEO? Okay. You need a fucking minute to deal with that one. To be completely fair, I see this guy's point to a small degree. Anti-cheating in games like CS:GO and whatnot is definitely an issue. You know, the anti-cheat, as far as I'm aware, has not been updated in a while, so there is definitely holes in it at this point that I'm sure many hackers are exploiting. There's also the thing too where, uh, as um, as they sort of said, like, you know, like, I'm not even talking about games at this point. If Valve doesn't want to make games, they definitely have a fucked up mentality with that to the most part. In fact, if you watch the Actman Steam, if you watch, where is it, the Rise and Fall of Valve, I think this was the video. He talks about how Valve is kind of getting money hungry and stuff like that, and they're definitely not a flawless company by any means. Like how like one thing I believe they mentioned was how you know, the third DLC pack for or expansion pack, whatever you want to call it, for Half-Life 2 was announced for like October 26, like 2016 or something like that, and people are still waiting for that. Like, it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, don't get me wrong, it's definitely fucked that they said that and then just kind of just left people hanging and didn't really say too much on it and whatever else. At least nothing hugely public that I'm aware of. Um, but at the same time, it's like, come on, like past Nintendo, there's not another there's not another console to, you know, compete with the Switch right now, right? Like, there's your phone, there's a Switch, the PlayStations, like the PlayStation Portables are dead, the DSs are dead at this point. Like, Nintendo's closed down most of the shops globally on them for them, so I'm pretty sure they've also stopped manufacturing the cartridges. I just went to Walmart today. There was no DS games on the shelf. Same thing with EB Games. I went to the mall and, like, I'm like, oh, I haven't been here in like a year. I didn't know they still exist. For context for people who are not Canadian, EB Games is basically the global equivalent of of GameStop. Or sorry, EB Games is the Canadian equivalent. I think I fucked that up. I don't know. I'm doing this unrehearsed, but yeah, you get the idea. Post the Switch to scare PC elitists. Post the Vita to scare Nintendo fanboys. Yes, yes, Queen. Ah, that's beautiful. Yeah, I mean, not much more to say past this. The fucking the icon and the account basically says what you need to know. The main reason I would actually argue to make a quick statement about the PS Vita is that the PS Vita was just too expensive for most people to get into, with not really any titles to get into it. I personally had a PS Vita because I loved the PSP, and I tried the Vita, and I actually liked it. Like, it was a super comfortable console. It was actually extremely nice. I played Rayman Origins and Rayman Legends on it. I played the Call of Duty, I think it was Declassified, like Black Ops Declassified. Honestly, all really solid experiences. Like I would not say that they were a lesser experience. The entire issue I had with them was just that it just wasn't a. Oh, sorry, and Wipeout 2048 for the Vita. Oh my God, you want a Mario Kart competitor? One second. Wipeout 2048. Oh my God, Wipeout 2048 for the Vita. This one. Oh my God, it was such a good game, and anytime I watch this intro, it is such a good intro. Like build hype around the game. I'm just gonna look this up. I'm gonna mute it so I don't get copyrighted with the song. But oh my God, it is such a good intro. Like I'm not one to try and build up hype, but I've talked so much about this intro, and I love it so much. Like whoever did this intro or whatever group, team, whatever did this, fucking clap and a half for you. I don't believe it runs in engine. I'm almost certain it's a pre-rendered cutscene. In fact, I am basically certain, because doing stuff like the little animated notations over it like they're doing would just be so fucking hard to do in engine. But it's like, oh, it's such a good intro in so many ways, and I've always loved how Wipeout has always done these sort of like sort of weird CGI sort of intros, and they aren't really afraid to like push the sort of like envelope and kind of like break the like sort of norm with the intros. And oh my god, if you want a fun racer that is not a sim and is not Mario Kart, like you want something that's kind of its own thing, try Wipeout. Like honestly, like find one of the versions that is no longer supported and emulated, because please, it is such a good game. Like if you want a genuinely challenging racer that is not like hard, oh my god, it's so fun. Like let me just look up gameplay for this. I'm sorry, I know this is a tangent, but oh my god, it's so good. Um, like honestly, if you guys want to talk about exclusives and fucking like whatever else, please play this game. It is genuinely one of the funnest racers I've played, with a decently high skill gap. Sorry, like the skill floor is generally low enough that like a beginner can kind of get used to it. But if you're a high skill player, it's really good. Oh my god, it is just beautiful. Like I wish Cyberpunk felt remotely like this, because if it was remotely like this, like feeling wise, I would have happily bought Cyberpunk just for the game, just for like the racing aspect of it. Like oh my god, it would have been so amazing. Anyways, back to the comments. Sorry, I am pushing like a half an hour on this, but let's keep going, shall we? Let's find some more edgy takes. Is the hard drive available? Yes, I'm aware of the micro SD card, but I'm curious if we can put an NVMe drive in later. Honestly, probably not. Um, I can almost guarantee the storage will be soldered on, and the soldered on storage will probably be what the protocol is using. If you could, oh my god, that would make this amazing, amazing. But it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's super hard to deal with. More importantly, given the ongoing chip shortage, will this thing actually be obtainable, or will it be like the PS5 or RTX 3080? That might as well be fictional products. No, you're thinking of the 3060, my guy. And the PS5 has actually been relatively on shelves. I've actually seen it at my local game stores. It's not unobtainable. It's just unobtainable in big cities where there's higher demand for it, or online where everybody is trying to click for the same thing at once. But yeah, past that, let's carry on. I see your Steam version. I raised you two alternatives that will probably beat it. No, that is most likely not the case. That being said, I think these two consoles are actually very competent, because I've watched that video. I'm a huge Linus Tech Tips fan. But the entire thing is that I do not personally feel like these are direct competitors. To me, those consoles, sort of handheld portables, whatever, they're definitely competent. But considering that Steam can focus Proton to work better with them, I believe both those consoles use Windows, which has bigger overhead compared to a lot of other programs and whatever. I just don't see it consistently working to the same level, or working as long. On top of that too, because they are because they aren't Steam themselves, and they aren't doing this on as large of a scale, I can imagine there will be quality control issues across these consoles. Like they'll be more common and stuff like that, right? But carrying on. Dude. Oh, here's a spicy one. So you're telling us this could run Snake, right? Probably run Snake better than you can run your website. Ayo! Sorry. Just looking to love those sassy replies to Twitch. Kind of put retro and other emulators on this. Been waiting. Bleh, fuck. Been wanting a handheld to play EPGs and visual novels with in bed, but I might as well buy a Vita and hack instead of playing this instead of buying this at this thing's price range. I like how they started out asking something, but then they're like, I might as well buy something else. No, as the comment below it says, it runs Linux, which supports RetroArch and a lot of other things like that. Like literally, if I just hit this, and I just search like emulator, this is on Ubuntu, but if you just search for it, give it a second to communicate. Oh, here we have Omos named, RetroArch, Huygen, you know, Dolphin. Yeah, like you're not gonna have issues. Ugh. Gotta love the Starbuckies. Anyways, please fix these buttons. It's atrocious how bad that layout is. You haven't even played it, bro. Exactly. Like, this is a massive issue that I have with gamers and getting either way too hype or immediately shooting it down before they even touch it. Like, hey, buddy, do us all a favor and calm me fucking nuts. Because you haven't played this shit yet. And you have actually no idea if this is going to work well or not. So like, just wait a minute. Breathe in, breathe out, fucking take a minute, have fun. It's a console, bro. It's a console. That control pad does not look ideally designed. As a gamer, I normally want to use a controller that's something like these three. So a couch gaming deck, whatever, like couch gaming format, you realize that the Steam Deck has like a USB-C port at the top, which you can, I'm assuming, buy a dock for. Maybe it comes with it, which has a display port, HDMI 2.0, a USB-C for power in, an Ethernet for internet, a USB 3.1, and two 2.0s. What? Not to mention that this thing probably has Bluetooth. In fact, I actually remember reading about this. If you look at the specs up here, it'll actually say, where is it? Connectivity. Bluetooth 5.0 support for controllers, accessories, and audio. Like, you know how there's videos as using like Joy-Cons as like an art controller, or macro pad or whatever you want to call it, right? Yeah, as you can see, like right here. Okay, well, of course, it isn't pulling up the images that I want. But as you can probably see, let's mute this again. Yep, cool, already muted. You can see this guy, Brad Colbro, Colbro. I actually never seen this video of his, but yeah, you can actually connect your switches to your laptop or desktop or whatever, kind of like an Xbox controller, and literally just use them as a Bluetooth controller and map them to hotkeys or shortcuts or anything like that. And it's, as you can see here, there's a little bit of delay, but like if you wanted to, I'm sure it's not an issue. It's really not that bad, my guy. Oh, look, he shows it on Mac too, which I'm pretty sure is just literally just searching for a fucking searching for a Bluetooth device after installing like one driver. And of course, this is gonna work on Linux too. Like, no shit. So your whole controller argument, guy, is kind of moot. Just connect to the dot and just put on your TV stand and you're good. Like, my guy. Oof. Dollar nipples. Any potential dual booting options? This is for games that don't have gold/platinum based on Proton DP. Probably. I'm not great at dual booting. I do dual boot. My current system right now that you're seeing is dual boot with Windows and Ubuntu. If you want to dual boot, go for it. Good luck figuring out how. I don't know. Dual booting was a pain for me to figure out, but if you can do it, more power to you. And as long as you don't need to install to separate drives to dual boot, I don't see why you can't. GPU is stronger than the PS4. What? That's fucking amazing. I don't know where they got that from. That's a pretty bold claim to make. Let's see if there's actual gameplay running on prototype hardware. Neat. Yeah, I don't really know where they would have made that claim. If they want to. Cool. I don't recall seeing anything like that. So yeah, just don't know what to say about that. Just if they made that claim, cool, but that feels kind of like you're reading in between the lines a bit too much. You were gone for an extra 5 minutes, so that means you were cheating on me. Let's carry on. I'm having way too much fun with this. I really shouldn't be, but I am. How instead of trying to make a failed Steam machine a thing you can actually work on your games? Yeah, as it says right here, yes, because the people working on the console are definitely video game designers. Yes and no. I'm sure some of them probably have experience. My big counter argument to that too, though, is other than just teams being diverse and more than just one thing, because Steam has many sub levels of programmers and whatever, right? The entire issue with the Steam machines was that you were basically just using a PC, a pre-built PC, and because the pre-built PC had worse specs, generally, not always worse specs, but it was a comparable price, but at a not so amazing form factor and being kind of restricted using Linux and stuff like that. There was essentially no incentive for people to buy a Steam machine unless they were really tech illiterate and or just really didn't want a quote unquote PC, even though the Steam machine basically was just a cute little PC. When there's a gimmick to it that's actually meaningful, and I could totally see this working. In fact, I was in a conversation with a friend the other day who literally said that they wanted a system that they can play this stuff like Skyrim and stuff on, and maybe bang off a few assignments. Then and it was funny because I was talking to them earlier, between making this video and when this was announced, and he's like, it is amazing because it feels like Valve heard me and was just like, I'm gonna shit this out for you. So yeah, you're probably missing the whole damn point. I have a few questions. Can you download a game to play it offline? No Wi-Fi. Yes, unless you're using a other service like, like Stadia or whatever, because I don't know how Stadia works. But I imagine on Stadia you can't just download games to play them later. On top of that too, again, because it's running Arch Linux, you can just download DEBs or app images or whatever and just run it off of that, which are basically like EXEs or whatever for Ubuntu or Linux based distros. How's the multiplayer latency since you're on Wi-Fi? Probably fucking terrible. Probably better than a Switch, but still terrible. But on the bright side, the dock does have Ethernet, so hey, that's going to help a lot. Is there an option to hook it up to your TV? Did you not hit the fucking link? Are all games going to be compatible with this or only a select group? Of course, only a select group. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, okay. Imagine this, but with Game Pass. Yeah. Microsoft probably will never do that because Microsoft is a greedy whore trying to turn the PC into an Xbox, basically. But hey, if you can do that. Let's go. I don't like this reply because any reason why I can't just buy a 1 terabyte M.2 and check it in there seems a bit of a hassle. These are micro SD cards that can be stuck with low storage. Poor design choice, if you ask me. You can get 1 terabyte micro SD cards now. Both of these people are missing the point because the main point with the micro SD cards is that compared to something like NVMe or an SSD, the SD cards are actually generally much slower. If you're a photographer who's ever taken photos with a DSLR in like 6K and tried to do a mass import, you will realize those things fucking chug at times. They are not the most optimized thing. So yeah. Ken is saying replace my gaming laptops. The GTX 1050 with like 32 gigs of RAM, 512 gigs of storage on an SSD, Intel i5. I really hope so. CPU probably, da-da-da-da-da-da. Long story short, if I'm being honest, with the guy up there, disregarding what the other guy said, it honestly super depends on what your gaming expectations / needs are. This thing is running off of an integrated processor, so it honestly will probably run a bit worse than your 1050. but because it's running on Arch Linux, it could actually arguably make up that performance gap, so that's a potential plus. The 32 gigs of RAM, I think this thing would probably only have like 8 or 16. I do not see it having more than that, so let's have a quick look. RAM, 16 gigs. Oh, wow, I was expecting 8. Cool, 16 gigs, that's plenty. So you know, if you're doing more competent workloads on this thing, I can totally see you struggling more with like Blender, if you mod games a lot, stuff like that. But if you're kind of like a stock player, I don't see any reason why you'd have any issues. The storage will be a pain as well, but like we discussed before, we can, you know, add an expandable SSD card. So as long as most of that stuff can fit on RAM, which, considering you're running 16 gigs, I don't see why you couldn't. So the only thing that you really have to worry about is load times that I can see. Can't play Sims 2 or Sims 1 or any older game. If it's not on Steam as it is, only runs on Steam. Yeah, no thanks. Too pricey for such restrictions unless somebody can find a way to mod and run anything. Linux! Yeah. You could easily get it to run. Like, come on. What the fuck are you on? Ooh, Among Us commented on this. Steam, feel free to send me one. I won't tell anyone. No one will play your game on Steam Deck, so who cares? Oh my god. Shut up, guy. Are you serious? I kind of just want to hit the replies just to see. Might want to see. Might want to delete the L part because you basically got ratio to what? They got one comment. Oh no, there's the ratio. There's the okay. I was looking this way, not this way. Okay, yeah, that's the ratio. That's the ratio. Who buggy? Steam, what's going on, big guy? You claim that Linux OS will be able to run my entire Steam library, even though some of those games I have anti-cheat directly interfaces with it running on Windows and a non-Windows OS. I watched you do it. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly the sort of line here that they're saying. I mean, they're trying. Shouldn't you be mad at software companies for making crappy, invasive anti-cheat software rather than Valve? You can literally put Windows on it. Exactly. Like as I said before. Fun fact. Like, although Linux is 3% of the market, and yes, cheating on Linux is easier, 95% of cheats come from Windows. Like, if I was a shitty 16-year-old with no life and decide to cheat in a game of CSGO because I'm a fucking degenerate who likes to cheat, I'm just gonna look up, you know, CSGO or Siege or whatever cheats. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, so let me learn how to program just so I can cheat in CSGO. Like here, like let me just look this up. Like CS/go or semicolon/go cheats. You know, I want to look this up in a private window because I don't want to start getting advertised for cheat engines and shit like that. I'd rather not. Let's see. Literally fucking 1, 2, like fucking Navi hacks. Oh, look at this. Free version, VAC undetected, high customality, cloud configs. Like, anyone cheating is probably just using something like this. I would imagine most people aren't, most people cheating are like to be fair, I do not think that this is, I'm not going to accept those cookies, not by a fucking long shot. But do I believe that this is VAC undetected? Probably not. At the same time, though, I'm sure this would work at least for a little bit. I'm fucking like 1 second. There's another thing too where it's like cheat sellers arrested. Just for a quick point. There were some videos or whatever where like apparently like some cheat guy fucking had this in his house or something. So it's very clearly like a high profit industry if they can do that. How accurate that is, I have no idea. But either way, it's definitely enough that you're definitely having some issues, you know. Um, and yeah, there's a lot of, like, to be fair, how true this image is, I have no idea. But at the same time, there is more than enough market for cheating in games. Like, not just that, but it's like even designated like Xbox employees, like Xbox employee makes millions off of Xbox exploit. Basically, I'm not sure if I'll find any things about this, but this one guy who worked for Xbox found an exploit in the code generation for the like little Xbox prepaid cards that you can get, right? And apparently the total worth was more than $10 million. Like, this guy was producing so many of these cars that he was literally affecting the global like market of the Xbox cars, like the price fluctuations. Just this one guy. And these are little card things that I'm talking about are the ones that you can buy online for your friend or whatever. That's what I mean. So yeah. Very amazing. So the fucking, as this guy says, blame your fucking blame the fucking shitty anti-cheat developers that are scared of Linux instead of actually the people who are just making a competent anti-cheat. It's as simple as that. Even then too, it's like I feel like just too many games are focusing on multiplayer. Like, come on, bring back the single player. Like, multiplayer is fun, but like, I don't want to come at the expense of a good single player. Now, that might just be me speaking, and like I know the market generally prefers online games, but like, why can't we have both? Mm-hmm. You think it doesn't have enough horsepower to handle next? Sorry. You think it doesn't have enough horsepower to handle next gen Steam Deck 720p with 8 RDNA 2 compute units? Da 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 da. Yeah, 4K 60 FPS. Da da da. Yeah, I mean, regarding this, I think the guy kind of overcomplicates it a bit. Long story short, is this is a small thing. I really don't like how the gamer mentality is like, oh, we need the highest FPS, and we need like a bunch of like, we need high FPS, 8K, fucking, I want to be able to see fucking somebody getting banged through their window fucking 8 kilometers away on my monitor. Like, if you want to run a game, I generally have a much better time at like 720 60 or 1080 60 with certain games and trying to crank the frame rate up and have fun with it. If it's a competitive shooter, do not get me wrong. There's a genuine advantage to higher frame rates, but if you're not playing competitively, it's just not there for you, chief. Like those benefits or whatever. It's like whatever. Can I play Sea of Thieves though? It's 2021. Just know, when the fucking Roblox kid comes at you, that you're fucking ooch. Who are you? I'm Yuba Stronger. Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Who are you? I'm Yuba with arthritis. Yeah, I would imagine that the touchpad also has some sort of palm resistant stuff. Either way, honestly, if I get this, I'd probably just disable the touchpads, unless I'm in the desktop, if I can. Or, Starbucks drink. But with like all the little buttons there are, I'm sure I would probably like to try and remap one of them, to make it just like you press it and it toggles the touchpads being on, because Arch Linux would definitely let you do that. I'm sure somebody will do that as well. So yeah. Everyone's comparing it to the Switch. There's obvious inspiration from the Switch, but I think design-wise, it looks more like the bigger Sega Game Gear with analog sticks. Yeah, yeah, genuinely, that definitely looks more akin to that. Is there going to be VAC modules dedicated to detect cheaters on this device? No shit. It's anti-cheat. If it has anti-cheat, it will fucking run. That being said, I don't think it will have designated built-in hardware like I think they're implying. So, hey, have fun. So yeah. Super fun. Can I play Destiny 2? Real question is, do you really want to? Yes. Quit Destiny, please. It's not that good. Can I play Final Fantasy? Fucking, what is that? 14? I barely read fucking Roman numerals. Fucking fight me. Honestly, having actually handheld MMORPGs can be fucking fantastic. Could do more gathering and freight grinding elsewhere. Plus, if the OS is touchscreen too, it could be used as a drawing tablet. Yeah, drawing tablet is a no. That is almost a guarantee. There will be basically no pen support that I can promise. I mean, no pen support. I can basically promise that. As somebody who wishes for drawing tablets to have much more adoption, I desperately wish companies would take it more seriously and offer more support. But at the same time, simply just the fact that it's going to be probably more widely available is great. But can it play Cyberpunk 2077? Bruh, the PS5 can barely play that with like a designated console. A fucking PC with like a 3080 can barely run this fucking thing. You really think that like fucking Cyberpunk is a game that you should be aiming for? It's dead. Abandon it. It's done. Just give up on Cyberpunk. It's a dead game. Please just stop. Oh, that's amazing. I need specs. I need specs for this to see if I can outclass GPD Win 3 because I would drop my Win 3 in a heartbeat if this can do the job. There is literally a link right here. Learn more at SteamDeck.com and reserve yours tomorrow. What the fuck? I don't know what the fuck you're on about, my guy. like reading. Oof, I know it's a big barrier, but come on, come on. To be fair, I haven't read half of these comments, so I'm not exactly great either. How hard is it to increase the screen size to something near bezel-less? The near bezel-less part is not the issue. It's the screen size, but sure. If you guys release another model with better screen space real estate, I may think about it. Even with those ridiculous control layout, I did poorly done edits, so you can see how much better it would look. I mean, I guess. Like, yeah, I like. Don't get me wrong. The bezels definitely are annoying. I have no objection to that. But at the same time, it's just like, are you fucking serious? Like, that's your complaint? Like, do not get me wrong. The bezels, definitely an issue, and I think this looks a lot better. I think they definitely should try a little bit harder for thinner bezels. 1000%. What the fuck are you on? I'm sorry. I'm just having such a hard time comprehending this. If you look at this, right? And then we look at an example like the Switch. Just like Nintendo Switch. Because we know it's going to be like the first thing that comes up. Images. I'll just go between these two. You can see that the border that this one has, like the frame, and the frame that this one has, like the bezels, whatever, are pretty fucking comparable to like this. Like, I would argue those two look almost the same. And then maybe for the Switch itself, the Switch itself actually looks a little bit thicker. Like listen, my person, whatever the fuck you're on, please get off of it. And maybe go outside and touch some motherfucking grass. Because if that's what's holding you back from buying a product is the bezel size, when there's basically no competitors other than Nintendo Switch. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, what's this comment? How entitled must you be to go? I may think about it. Lamau, yeah, like this billionaire company is gonna make a separate model for each annoying fuck on Twitter. This thing is supposed to be portable. What you're asking for isn't possible. Incorrect. It is possible. For context, 1 second. Portable displays. Just as a quick example. To be fair, almost any display can be portable, but yeah. Portable monitor, but sure. Like you can see here, there's this one which has pretty thin bezels. You know, this one here is, I think, the exact same one, but still thin bezels. I think this is a different one. Same thing. Relatively thin bezels. Like, you still need somewhere to mount it, right? But it's still one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's definitely possible. You can definitely reduce the bezels more and whatever else. How realistic some of these are, I don't know. Obviously, these are just like product advertisements, CG renders, shit like that. But at the same time, like, get the feeling of grass under your toes again, because you clearly need to fucking check yourself before you wreck yourself. Like, sure. Nintendo drones, when they realize the Steam Deck will emulate all Switch games and run better than the Switch or Mythical Switch Pro. Switch Pro probably gonna happen at some point. Right now, they basically have no incentive to, because they're still flying off the shelves, right? I doubt people really care that much about an emulator. A lot of people do. Yeah. Hey, Shibs, the Ash Simp. Let's go. I'm just here to see people complain and be annoying for no reason. Hey, I'm just here to comment on it. I'm here if they actually reply to that. Nope. Well, cool. Anyways, oh boy, I can't wait to play all the games and then go out in public. Ooh, is that a nice little yuck? I don't know that game. Brave Alchemist Charlotte. I don't know that. I'm guessing that's a pretty risky game. All I can say is hell yeah. Can't wait to play all my favorites on those. Hell yeah. Like, genuinely though, like I know they're kind of making a shit post about this, but it's like, yeah, these games aren't sold anymore. I'm maintaining these games. Like, if they break or you lose one because, you know, you're fucking human, like, yeah, these are genuine issues. Like, fucking, like, you know, Sonic the Hedgehog, the first one, is supported on Steam. I'm pretty sure Sonic 2 is supported as well. I'm pretty certain. Like, just emulate them. Like, fuck. Like, if the games aren't being sold, I see no reason not to emulate. Like, it's not hurting market value if they aren't selling it. I just want to see there's a Sonic 1 on here, on Steam. Also, fuck how Sonic Colors is on the Epic Game Store only. I'm still angry about that. Yeah, see, Sonic the Hedgehog, $5. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, $5. And it's supported on Steam OS. Like, yeah, just, you're fine, my person. Like, let's go. Go for it. You don't even need to buy it. Like, obviously some of those probably aren't supported, but again, most of the ones that aren't supported probably aren't on sale, so fuck it. Kind of amazed at how some of the comments are on this. Dear fanboys, let people enjoy things even if you prefer something else. Handheld PCs are nothing new, and many more will be on the way. Eggs, fucking exactly. To also make a comment on that is Surface Pro. Come on, internet. I believe in you. There we go. Oops, didn't mean to hit shopping. Images. Yeah, so for context, I had a Surface Pro 3. You know, little pen, whatever else. The screen was shockingly fragile, so I can't recommend one in good mind, and the pen track is honestly kind of ass. So please consider something else. I do not really recommend this product unless you really, really, really need one device that can kind of do it all. And if you do, please go for a mid to high spec one, not the low spec one, because you will be suffering at least 8 gigs of RAM. Ideally 16, and you know, probably at least 128 gigs of storage. Anyways, carrying on from there is yeah, I played many touch games on this from the Windows Store, and I know, like, Windows Store, but, like, you know, fucking putting on the pitchforks for a second, if there actually is a game on the Windows Store that's playable, it actually runs pretty fucking fine on a tablet. It's like literally just playing like on an iPad. It's not that bad of an issue. So, you know, maybe lower the pitchforks for a second and just be like, hey, this isn't that bad of an idea either way. Yeah, it's just whoosh, whoosh. This is just like the Nintendo Switch, but with weird ass buttons. Such an observant observation you've made there. Have you ever considered maybe that 50,000 other people have probably thought the same thing that you have? Considering this thing has like 100,000 likes, I don't think, assuming that 50,000 people think that is that much of a stretch. Let's see. This is super cool. Yeah, my guy. Let's go. It's just the Nintendo Switch. You just really had to be a cunt, didn't you? You had so many things you could have said, and you chose to say that. You could have just let the guy be happy. You could have just let the guy just be chill and be like, yeah, this looks cool. I'm happy for it. And then your fucking basement dwelling ass probably got a dick that's basically more cheese at this point than not. Fucking just comments, oh, it's a Switch. Woo! Man, I am sorry, but oh my god, you must have been fucking pulling an all-nighter to think of that one, my guy. To make an observation that is that, like, mind-blowing must just, like, just me some moon brain action, because, like, oh my god, to be able to realize that this looks like the Switch. I can't fathom it. I can't. It's amazing. I wish to have thonks as good as you one day, my person. I really do. So this console can run TF2 and has the latest Terraria update. Unlike other consoles, take my money. I think I uninstalled TF2 already because I don't like TF2 that much. But yeah. It can run TF2. Like you can see I have the Linux toggle on, right? T-E-A-M. Fortress 2. Like, I don't know what you're expecting, Chief. Have fun. Suck a dick. Okay, so the just like nutshell for like 3 seconds or fucking going a little tangent again is like I doubt it can run TF2. It's like, do people just not research anything? Like I know that's kind of the crux of the internet, but it's literally just like most people have Steam, right? Just you know, go to the fucking store page. And they'll generally say on it somewhere if it can run on Steam. I actually don't think it shows on the Steam page because it's kind of annoying like that. Let's see. Yeah, minimum Ubuntu 12. Like, it doesn't even say Windows. It just says Ubuntu. And then, yeah, you can see here, like, it shows the different specs for different systems. And actually, in fact, one thing that I want to point out, too, is that you'll see on SteamOS and Linux, it basically just blunt forces the like minimum specs to what would be barely passable on Windows. So yeah, that's cute. But yeah, pretty puggies. I have no idea what my friend is saying here, but good on you. I'll give you a like for that, my person. But yeah, so Valve said, let's make a Switch, but, like, make it worse, make it have a worse handheld layout. Oh, shit. You've tried it and assessed the layout? Please give us your review since you have one. Yeah. 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 just yeah. Something tells me you won't be able to play everything you have on Steam, or it's going to be miserable, so you might as well just play on a laptop. Yeah, that's what Linux gaming is. I'm not sure what you're expecting, my person. I'm trying to just comprehend this. Yeah, will you deny us hardware just like you did with the Valve Index? IEU countries that isn't European Union. I'm still waiting for Valve Index to sell in Norway, and controller and base stations is already selling at obnoxious 1.2 grand over here. That's with no HMD. Yeah. So as somebody who kind of has friends everywhere, Oculus Quest 2 price Brazil. Just trust me on this. Regional pricing. I'm just making a point here if I can find it. I don't know if I can. Here, .com.br. I'm assuming BR means Brazil. So it's 4,250 rubles or whatever that is. What is the abbreviation for it? R. R to CAD, just for context. What is RBL? Okay, let's assume it's RBL. Real Brazilian something. I don't know. Oh, you know what? We'll do this to USD just because it's easier. USD. Wow. Still being a point. A point. Enter amount 4250. Yeah, $831. If we then look up Oculus Quest 2 MSRP, it has an MSRP of 400. So why does it cost so much in Brazil? Well, you see, Brazil has some fucking import taxes that are borderline insane. I don't remember what the exact saying is, but I believe there's something along the lines of you could literally fly to the States, buy a PS4, and fly back with it for cheaper than just buying one in Brazil. I believe is what the terminology or whatever the saying that people often like to use. Just because it's like so many things in Brazil are just fucking insane because of import taxes. Like, I believe they speak Portuguese in Brazil. What language do they speak in Brazil? Portuguese. Yep, I was right. All right. So yeah, I just wanted to know that for my own sake. But you can see here, even an Amazon dot is like fucking cray. So like, you know, like for you to buy anything in Brazil is just insane. So again, I'm sure if they could, they would have fun with that. Oh, we got a hot take. Ryzen, bruh. If they go with Intel, there should be if they go with Intel, there should be an option for Thunderbolt 4, so anyone could get the power of a Radeon desktop card for maximum performance. I do agree that I think having external GPU support with Thunderbolt would have been fucking amazing. I have no doubt about that. The issues is that, as the person says down here, you get a worse APU. Debatably, Intel processors are better performance-wise right now, but at the cost of power. So considering Ryzen generally has better power efficiency, I would personally take the battery performance. The other thing is too is that just to be a dick as well, if we just go to Amazon, fucking dyslexic, I love you. Amazon.com, sloppy typer as well, the best combo. If we go to this and then we just search for CPU, you will notice, Ryzen, Intel, Ryzen, Intel, Ryzen. And my point with this is that you notice how Ryzen's on top and occurring a bit more frequently up top. That is because like Amazon sorts by what sells. It does not sort by, it doesn't sort by just like, oh, we've been paid this money, so we're just going to secretly bump to the top without claiming that a sponsor. To be fair, products like this and this are clearly sponsored. Same with these two, but like if you aren't, if it isn't sponsored, Amazon is just going to sort it by what's selling first. It's just as simple as that. Like, even if you look at this, it's like, so on the first page, the best-selling AMD processor has fucking 21,000 reviews on Amazon.com. If you scroll down to the first Intel processor that comes up, or like the highest one on the first page, even nitpicking for answers, this Intel one here, that's like 2 generations old. It only has 8,500 reviews in comparison to Ryzen's 20,000 on a slightly newer processor. Like, it just doesn't make a ton of sense. Like, the market is choosing Ryzen, although I think the market can choose very poorly at time. Right now, it seems to be leaning towards AMD. So, fucking, as long as it's a standard, that game developers can aim for, go for it. In fact, with my game as well, that I'm working on in Unreal Engine, I am going to actually be personally aiming to make my game playable on Linux OS, like any Linux OS, or at least most of them. Supporting every single one would be a bit much of a hassle, but I plan for it to be able to run on main distros such as Arch and Ubuntu, and I will aim for it to be playable on the Switch console, or not the Switch. I can see that goes to show you how like fucking easy the overlap is to be playable on the Steam deck, whatever. So yeah, like I'm not concerned. Anyone else having issues reserving one? I'm not even gonna read the rest of that. Reserve yours tomorrow. Posted today. Yeah, you be a smart cookie, ain't ya? Yeah, you really be setting a high bar, Chief. All right, let's read just a few more. I think finishing this off at the length of a feature film would would be kind of a bad idea. This is so perfection, so close to perfection. This is so sad. Yeah, the price is a little bit shitty, but hey. So close. If the price is the only thing holding you back from perfection, that doesn't seem like that steep. I have a friend who's literally considering selling his laptop that he uses for gaming for this. So hey. Big question I have is it standalone, or do you have to buy a PC somewhere to use it? It's standalone. You definitely need a Steam account. Actually, you don't. Because it runs Arch, you'll basically just boot until Arch. There'll be a little icon with Steam on it, is my guess, and then you just launch the Steam and then go. That being said, I could easily be wrong about that, and it could like do like some forced bullshit sign and launch stuff, right? So yeah. This is a good shit post. Can I have it for free from some YouTuber or whatever? Yes, at $3.99 shipping costs. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'm guessing this is just some comment where they got ratioed about Intel being better, and it's like, what's wrong with you? AMD, by all accounts, for CPU blows away Intel right now. Not technically. Intel does have a lot of strong points. I actually, just to make context here, I actually prefer AMD over Intel at this point in time, but for some specific work cases, there's a lot of reasons to prefer Intel. Intel has, certain things like Optane, where if you're an older user, Optane is great for you, and some other smaller stuff. So yeah. Although Ryzen is generally the better one right now, I wouldn't necessarily be so quick to put Intel on the back burner. They're more or less hand in hand right now, and I think in another 2-3 years, the fucking scale's gonna flip, and Intel's probably going to be a bit more aggressive about it. Nintendo fan guys, console wars are so childish. Also, Nintendo fans at the Stream Deck announcement. Yes. Looks like these two combined. Fucking moon brain. Fucking my god. My god. Woo. Let's see. Hey, Katie. I'm gonna follow you real quickly. Thank you for choosing Katie Plasma. Yeah. That's cute. I'm gonna give that a little like. I appreciate that. This is gonna get scalped so hard. Yeah. No, the fact states only one per account, and the accounts had to make a purchase on Steam before June 2021 to order within the first 48 hours. That's actually a really good anti-scalping thing from what I've seen so far. It's not like the absolute best, but I mean, like, it actually seems pretty competent. Like if that's the actual anti-cheat, like the anti whatever thing that they're doing, I'm actually pretty okay with that. We've replied to that comment before. Same thing. Can you emulate old new Nintendo games on PC? Some new ones, no. I do not think it is responsible to. Well, actually, okay. I think emulating games is fine. Completely fine, actually. On if you already own the game, like you can't see it, but right here is the cartridge or the box for the Nintendo. What is it called? The Super Mario 3D All Stars. That's actually currently on my Switch. I actually have Breath of the Wild here right now because once you beat that game, you're kind of just done with it. For a little bit more context, because we all know how iconic the fucking sound is that's the little Switch Joy-Cons both being popping at the same time. I think if you actually own the games and you just format shift them, I see nothing wrong with that. Obviously, it depends on your region. I think either way, that format shifting should definitely be fought and worked around, because I think you should have the right to preserve your copies however you can. What the fuck? My knife just fell apart that I've been playing with this entire video. Cool. Anyways, back to what I was saying before my knife literally fell apart, is just like I believe in being able to use a game any way that you. Once you have a product, you should have any right to it possible, right? I think if Nintendo or any company for that matter is doing something where you want to run a product, but you cannot actually obtain the product through reasonable means. If the only way to get it is through third party, or if you only have the option of importing it from out of country or something like that, I just don't see those as reasonable options. So under those examples, I completely believe the format shifting should be fine. Even at that point, like I'm not condoning piracy, but it's like if it's one of those things where it's like you just can't reasonably get your hands on a copy, I can definitely see how for most people, like, trying to import an international game just so you can play it just isn't reasonable to most people. I can totally see how most people wouldn't do that. And like, honestly, if you aren't willing to support a market, then yeah, I see no reasons not to emulate / pirate it or whatever. Well, it's not even pirating at that point because it's dead. It's a dead game. It's like trying to look up an abandoned work. Like, oh really? Like fucking, you're gonna fucking be fucking pissed off that like Frogger the Dark Legacy or whatever, Frogger the Dark Cavern or whatever it is. Frogger the Dark Cavern, whatever this is, like you're really telling me that like, a game that was released like only on the fucking GameCube or whatever, like these old like super hardcore abandoned games, like you're telling me that like I should somehow be obtaining these through reasonable and expected means? Like, okay. You have fun on your Fantasyland magical trip, whatever. But I don't think most people are going to fucking try and import an international game just to get their hands on it, or like spend like $5,000 on like international shipping or whatever. Obviously, I'm exaggerating, but I sold a graphics card to somebody in Colorado from basically the border of Canada and the U.S. Near Vancouver area, and long story short is the shipping on that bitch was like $60. So, like, if you can't obtain the thing within a reasonable means, like, I see no reason why you should have to go insanely out of your ways to fucking get it. For context, the GPU that I sold was before the shortages to a friend. I basically sold it below MSRP, so, yeah. Just for a little bit more context on that little story. Okay, we're at basically feature film length. Controller layout is a solved problem. I'm not sure why you tried to unsolve it, because this is a different format. Does it play all the Sims I need to know? Yep. Steam Deck by Valve. Portable PC gaming. Runs a new version of Steam OS plus Proton support. Custom APU developed in partnership with AMD. Price is pretty considerable. Shipping in December. Detailed specs. Yep. Which you can literally just get from the fucking website. Will this be the new big picture interface? I kind of hope so. Yeah, I think I'll end it there. That was fucking long enough. I do agree with this. I love when companies make the price difference between storage capabilities so fucking huge and it can't make sense at all. I should be able to. Should I spend $110 less on a new and use a slow micro SD card for more games, or should I spend a disproportionate amount of money on to store 4 more games? Yeah, good point. Because, like, as you can see here, going from here to here is an extra £100 in this guy's case, right? It's an assuming guy. I apologize if your term rounds are wrong or whatever, but considering by your fucking icon and your fucking description, I don't think you give a shit. But yeah, as you can see here, it's like, oh, so the price there is actually pretty justified. But considering the stores that you're getting, it's actually pretty fucking weak. So let's actually do our own research for 3 seconds. Because I actually just bought an SSD the other day. I thought he was going to make a better point. But it's like NVMe SSD. As you can see down here, 500 gigs for $69. Going from this one to this one, which to be fair, are not the same model SSDs. There's performance differences, yada, yada, yada. But, going from this one to this one is not a $100 jump. It's an $80 jump off sale, right? You can get 250 gig ones for, like, even less of a price ramp. Like, when we see one eventually, I'll definitely call it out. 200, 2 terabytes, $300, 1 terabyte, $159. Yeah, 256, $50. So if we go from the Silicon Power $50 one to a WD, which is like, let's just say $80 after shipping or whatever else, like that's not a $100 price jump. That's barely 50. So it's like it actually isn't even 50, but I'm just rounding the numbers in my head to a point that's aggressively stupid. Same thing here, $65 to $83. I definitely agree with that. And I really hope the memory isn't soldered on, so that way you can just buy an upgraded version or whatever. And yeah, if you don't mind using a sketchy SSD, I guess you can go for this one right here. Hopefully it has a DRAM cache. But yeah, it's like, I definitely see the guy's point here. I don't disagree. Not a bad take, actually. Yeah. Yeah. Which is basically another word for a valve. Ooh. Yo, it's so woke. I don't like that. I don't like that because the having to go in. Like, I kind of like the having to go in part. I do like this. I don't like this. Can it run Discord at the same time? Google! It's running Linux based. Can it run Discord? Can it run Discord? I have no idea. So confusion. Many what the fuck. So yeah, amazing. I'm gonna just end it there. People need learn how to Google shit. Good console. Looking forward to it. Happy to have a Switch competitor, genuine Switch competitor. Uh, Good night. Have fun. Have a good sleep.